Hello and welcome back everybody, and if you're new here, welcome. Today we're in my bathroom because I've gotten a lot of requests about what my morning lock care routine is, and so I thought that I would show y'all today. And to be honest, my morning lock routine honestly isn't a lot of steps and it's very low maintenance, so I thought I'd couple it with a couple of different things. One, I'm going to show you guys how I make my natural hydrating spray. And then, because I do have somewhere that I want to be today, I'm going to show you guys how I refresh some of my twists just so my hair looks a little neater without me doing my full head and having like a super permanent retwist. So first of all, it's actually been a minute since I've made this hydrating spray because for the longest time I was actually using Free the Roots hydrating mist and I really like them, but I just ran out, and honestly I really like the one that I make myself, and so I feel like using the Free the Roots is a great option for those of you guys that don't want to make a product yourself, or you want something that's like a natural product that you can buy and it's great quality. I'll link them in my description, and yeah, y'all could go from there. But for the natural hydrating spray that I'll be making today, you really only need 3 ingredients, and just because I bought them all recently, I think all in all it came out to about $25. But the cool thing about that is most of the products will last you a couple months. When you buy everything, it's essentially in bulk, and you should be able to use the same product multiple times. So let me show you. The main ingredient and the most important one is distilled water. One thing that I really want to emphasize is the only thing that you truly need to hydrate your hair is water. So I like distilled water because distilled water has been filtered. It takes out all of the chemicals and other just like additives that go into spring water and purified water that's used for consumption. Distilled water you don't typically want to drink just because it doesn't have all of those minerals and everything, but for hair, as far as you're concerned, this would be the best option just because you simply just want to hydrate your hair. So that's what I like to use on my hair, and I think this gallon was about $3 at Sprouts, but it lasts me a long time because this is the only time that I use distilled water. So if you can, I would definitely try and get your hands on distilled water versus using just like tap water or purified filtered water, and just kind of like store it. I literally store this under my sink and it's just kind of there when I need it. And then the other 2 ingredients are rosewater and aloe vera juice. Now, I will say, even though water is the only thing that your hair truly needs to stay hydrated, there are other things such as aloe vera and rosewater that can benefit your hair as far as further hydration and health. Both rosewater and aloe vera are generally just considered good products for your hair, your skin, and everything else. And so specifically with aloe vera, I like to use this and then also aloe vera leaves itself just to help hydrate my hair and also help with itchiness, dryness, and dandruff. And out of all 3 ingredients, aloe is the one with the shorter shelf life. It does say after opening it needs to be refrigerated and it should be used within 30 to 45 days once opened. And I am mentioning this because the hair mist that I make does need to be refrigerated, so I would just note that as well. Unless you find like a shelf stable aloe vera juice, it will need to be refrigerated just so it stays fresh and it doesn't mold or cause any negative bacteria growths. And then the final ingredient would be rosewater. Just like the aloe vera juice, rosewater is great for hydrating the hair. It's great for hydrating skin as well. I actually use this as like a face mist as well as in my hair, and it also helps with soothing the scalp and dandruff. So pretty much everything that I put into this kind of helps combat some very specific issues I deal with my scalp and my hair, which is why I really like this mixture, just to keep your hair healthy, because when your hair is healthy, it grows, and that's what we like. And not gonna lie, y'all, I wanted to show you guys the process of me making it and putting it into the spray bottle, but I actually did all of that off camera because I thought I was recording and I wasn't. So this is what it will look like. And I could just show you on this, I filled it about, I would say 2/3 of the way with the distilled water, just because you want the water to be the bulk of this mixture. And then I did about 1/3 of it with the aloe juice and basically just like topped it off with this like final inch with the rose water. But I would just make sure that the ratio from the distilled water to the rest of the products is much greater, because you really want to just be basically putting that water in your hair and then a little bit of the aloe vera juice and rose water to help boost those benefits and to further help hydrate your hair. And in the past, when making this, I used to include essential oils in the mixture as well. And if you choose to do that, that's totally fine. The only reason that I don't anymore is because I find that it's really hard to clean, and the oil will kind of like congregate and create a film. And I used to have another spray bottle, and it was essentially clogged because I couldn't really clean the oil as well as I wanted to, and over time it just kind of got nasty. So if you're someone who likes using essential oils in your hair, I would recommend either a different type of spray bottle, or you can just do that separately and deal with oils outside of this hydrating spray. So yeah, super simple. This alone will probably last me, I would say, like 2 weeks. When I use it consistently and I use it a lot, it obviously goes way faster than when I'm using it sparsely, but in the fridge, I wouldn't keep it longer than about 2 to 3 weeks, just because the freshness will go down as well. So that's something to keep in mind. So now that that's made, let me get into what my morning routine realistically looks like. And as you can see, I'm like already dressed. I've actually kind of low-key like lived my life today. I had to go and get a new spray bottle, and I went to the park, got some coffee, and did all that stuff. So apart from the fact that this is actually more like the middle of the day, if I were to just get up and do my routine, this is what it would be. Usually in the morning, unless I had showered the night before, my hair is pretty dry. And I'm gonna be real with you guys, I do not always wear a scarf on my hair, mainly because I find that my roots get pressed down and my locks end up flattening out. So I kind of go back and forth between having a scarf on my head and just kind of like sleeping with it out. And I know that's probably bad. I might be shunned for that, but that's how I am, and nobody's perfect, so it's whatever. My hair's still healthy and I take really good care of it, so I feel like that's like a minor flaw or thing that I do in my routine. Yeah, so this is how my hair typically looks in the morning. And the first thing that I like to do is just go in with the spray. And let me show you, this is why I like this spray bottle. As you can see, it has a really solid mist, and the stream is really long and consistent. I feel like this is really nice for locks specifically, because it can be a little harder to distribute products over your hair when you have locks. And so the mist not only helps my hair absorb the water, but I feel like it just covers a nice healthy area of hair itself. And I personally really like the smell of aloe. It's up to you to add anything else. I feel like if you are someone who adds essential oils, that's a great way to get a nice scent out of it. I would recommend rosemary oil, just because it has a lot of great benefits for hair growth. But I would say without any essential oils, it's a pretty neutral scent. It's just kind of like a natural scent, which I don't really mind at all. But as you can see, my hair is already laying a lot better than it was versus when it was dry. And once I feel like my hair is pretty damp, I like to go in with a brush. So brushing my locks is another thing that I do just about every single day, and I do typically do it in the morning when I wake up. And I feel like it really has just helped my hair lay straight and stay pretty organized for as much as it's worth, because my locks, you know, you're not going to be able to brush out any of the kinks in your locks, and that's not really the point, but I just find it's easier to manage and deal with my hair when it is kind of like generally going in the same direction. And so that's mainly why I brush my hair. I've also researched it too, and it is believed to also promote hair growth, just because it does stimulate the scalp and stimulate the hair shafts, and it brings more blood to the scalp itself. And all in all, that's just going to bolster those hair follicles and promote growth. Obviously, I have not like scientifically tested that, and I've posted on other accounts about the benefits of brushing hair, and people tend to have very mixed emotions and feelings about it. But all I know is I've been brushing my hair for a while since my locks have matured, and I love it. I think it's great. It's definitely like an essential part of my routine, and so I guess it's up to you to decide if you think it's worth it. I will say if your locks aren't mature, I'd probably wait until they are, just because it may damage the lock itself if it hasn't fully matured. Brushing it does create a slight frizziness, but to me, honestly, it's not an issue. I think my hair looks fine, but if you do have starter locks, it may either just like brush out the lock itself, or it may mess it up. So I would wait until your hair is a little more mature to do that. But all in all, I really like brushing my hair. It's something I do every day, and I really don't know what I'd do without it. As far as like a daily basis routine goes, this is essentially all that I do to my hair in the morning. I very rarely put oil in my hair, and usually if I do, it's like while I'm retwisting my hair, or it's after I get out the shower and I feel like I want to add oil. This is like my baseline lock care routine. It's like 2 steps, literally hydrate my hair and then brush it, and then I'll put it into whatever style. But since I do have plans for today and I want to go out, and my retwist is pretty much non-existent at this point, I wanted to show you guys what I do to kind of like refresh my retwist when I do kind of just want a neater style for my hair. So like I was saying, sometimes in between retwists, I want to style my hair in a way that I feel like would look better with neater parts. And so this is basically what I'll do when I want the look of a retwist without like truly retwisting my hair. And this is not something that I recommend doing often, just because I feel like that time in between your retwist is essential for the health of your locks, and also making sure you don't deal with anything like thinning locks or breakage, just because retwist can be harsh on your hair. But I'm going to show you guys right now. Whenever I do this, I definitely make sure that I'm light to touch, and honestly, because I don't put any products in my hair, it doesn't really last that long. It literally lasts until I wash my hair, and typically if I do this, I'll wash my hair within like the week at least, and so my hair doesn't stay retwisted for a long time. And you can do this with oil, but I typically choose not to. I'll just hydrate my hair really well, I'll make sure it's brushed, and then I'll just kind of like roll it. So as you can see, I've taken just kind of like this first half of my hair, because truly that's all that's really seen. Like, yes, if someone is looking at your hair, they will see that the back is not retwisted, but the front is. But most of the time, people really aren't looking that hard. And I feel like if you have this front part pretty much looking clean, like your overall head is gonna look nice. And that's all I really care about. So basically what I do is I separate my hair. As you can see, here's the front and the back. And I will just like loosely put this in a ponytail, because what I do is as I am retwisting each individual lock, I'm really just trying to tighten it just a little bit. And what I'll do after I do just kind of like twist it and tighten it, I'll just put it in the rubber band. And yeah, I pretty much just go around and I do this to the front of my head. Now, if you are trying to like wear your hair down and it's not gonna be up and back in a style, you may want to do more or less. But for what I'm doing today, which is essentially just kind of like a ponytail with some hanging down in the front, you really only need like the first 2 rows. And I'll show you guys everything on the other side, just for my camera's sake. Sometimes I have it really gentle, like, and you can feel the tightness of these. They are twisted, tight, but my concern is not making sure that they're super tight and lasting a long time. And honestly, I don't know about y'all, but my favorite current twist has been done, and I started using it, but not really, like, the parts, but actually loose, and I feel like whenever I do this, loose. So as you can see, like, it doesn't look super clean, but it is defined, and it blends really well into the back of my hair. So now we're just gonna do the other side. And when I got my hair retwisted this last time, as many of you know if you're following me, I went and got it professionally done, and she actually retwisted one half of my head in the opposite direction of how I usually retwist it, which was interesting because I've heard that there's a certain way and direction that you should retwist your hair just because it follows a curl pattern, and I never really knew if I was retwisting my hair the correct direction. I kind of just twisted them all backwards because that's kind of like the appearance that I wanted, but she actually twisted the entire right side of my head forward and the left side of my head backwards, and so I think I'm actually going to follow that pattern. And how reason I so I'm going to do after this. I feel like giving a lot of information. What looks, I really appreciate it. Just because you don't have a while, and I feel like I have a very good idea how to care locks and how to do things. It's nice to hear people give it over advice, and you know, not that they're but overall, I guess, really with twisting the curl pattern is going to help your growth. It's going to help with growth. And I was actually inspired to do this like semi retwist by another creator on Instagram. She basically talked about how she never really retwists her hair anymore. She just kind of like retwists the front and calls it a day. And I thought I'd try it out because a lot of the times I don't really care to have my hair retwisted. I only really retwist it because I like to keep the parts and I want to keep my locks very like individual. But overall, I prefer the look when my hair is a little looser and outside of the retwist versus like a fresh, clean retwist look. And yeah, so this is the final product. As you can see, yes, you can kind of see that after a certain distance, there's no longer any parting, but I feel like this also just makes my hair look fuller, really. I don't feel like it looks bad and it blends pretty well, especially with my hair pulled back. But obviously in the front, it just looks a little cleaner. And so if you're someone that's going somewhere and you want a cleaner look, I'd say this is a great thing to do every once in a while, in between your retwists and in between wash days. And just because my hair is still a little damp from rehydrating it with my spray, I do like to just go in and add a scarf to the front of it for a little while if you have the time, just so the retwist doesn't come out, because once again, it's not super tight, and because I don't have any gels or oils kind of like locking it in place, it will honestly just unravel unless it's back in a style. So I like to wear this over my hair for at least like 30 minutes while my hair dries a bit and before styling it, just so I have a better ability to actually manipulate my hair without feeling like I retwisted it for nothing. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, I have a really easy morning routine. This is something that I do every single day. Outside of the retwist, I really just like to make sure my hair is hydrated. I make sure that I brush it, and all in all, put it in loose styles and or a scarf, because honestly, I also wear a lot of scarves. My day-to-day is really simple, it's really easy, and I just try to use clean products on my hair, do low manipulation styles, and let them grow. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also turn on the notifications because yeah, why not? And until next time, happy healing.